Okay, so we're live on Zoom and we're on Facebook as well. Dr. Jesse Brown here, also known as the Holistic Guru, and so glad to have you all one in the Zoom room as well as on Facebook Live as I share some things over um, this call that I believe will be of great benefit to you and your loved ones, and ideally future generations as well. And so today's topic, I'm really going to address the natural products industry as an opportunity. I'm online quite a bit and seeing, looking at the videos and like a lot of you are. And we're always seeing people say, hey, this is the great hustle. This is the great opportunity. This is the best thing that's out there. And you want to make X number of dollars and all this. Okay. And I look at that and say, is that really the best opportunity? And who is that the best opportunity for? What is it that we can do that not only generates money, but provides value as well? Because it's one thing, you can do a lot of things. You can sell drugs, you can do some illegal activity, you can hustle. And we've seen a lot of hustles. We've seen a lot of scams. We've seen a lot of stuff out there that is not in our best interest. And the truth is that there's a lot of opportunities that can solve problems for people instead of causing problems, are good for the planet, are principled, are profitable, and can be passed on to future generations. And so that we can be philanthropic as well, so we can solve more societal problems as well. Okay. I look at the example of, for example, Madam C.J. Walker and how the problem, and she didn't invent the pressing comb, but she did invent a product or come up with a product and distribute a product and had a factory in that produced hair care products that enabled her to become the first female millionaire. Okay. And it was a natural product. It was a natural product at the time, at the time. I don't know this, it's still, I think it's still coming back or about to come back on the market, but it was a natural product that solved a problem that women were having with their hair, particularly African-American women. And one thing that I admire about Madam C.J. Walker was the fact that she was a philanthropist as well. And she was like so many of the business people at the time and even today, who, when they do make more than enough money to pay their bills and take care of themselves, they contribute to societal missions, purposes, the betterment of our community. And that's integral. That's really important to note as well. So why do I mention that? Okay. And here, I'm gonna kind of hit these points. I like alliteration. It's solving problems for people in ways that are good for the planet or do the least harm for the planet, are principled. They're moral and principled. Profitable. You can pass them along, and ideally be philanthropic. People can tithe, they can donate, and whatever the excess, and we have more than enough, share it with others. Realize that there's someone who's not doing as well as you are, or could. Okay. So, and I believe the natural products industry and natural products arena is one of the best opportunities to fulfill those goals, and it checks off many of those marks, and that's the direction it's headed as well. So I've been involved in this area, this arena, for a really long time. I remember when there were no Whole Foods in the city of Detroit, or before Whole Foods actually existed. And over nearly 20 years, I've attended some of the largest conferences in the North America, at least, if not the world, on the natural products industry. Okay, and this is the portion of the natural health and wellness industry that's directed towards products, and that could be vitamins, minerals, foods, and anything that's sold, for example, in the health food store or in these, not just health food stores, but other stores and groceries and markets and things like that, that contributes to our health and wellness. It has a function of benefiting the improvement of our health and wellness, our health, wellness, and beauty. Right? And so this arena has grown from a relatively small area 30 or so years ago to a very large industry. In fact, the numbers on this industry are approximately $276 billion. Yeah, $276 billion. So when people are looking at opportunities, one of the things you want to look at is the historics, how it's grown and how it's grown over time. That's vitally important to know, because you want to know if you're poised and positioned in an area of growth or decline. Everything is not growing. Everything is not growing at the same rate. Everything doesn't necessarily go this way or that way or such. And there are many industries that will grow for a period of time, and then they'll level off, and then they'll take a dip, or they'll just decline and go away. You want to know the difference between a fad, a trend, and a mega trend. Oh, the fads are things that come and go.
One moment. Okay, I found this on the web for a very large industry. In fact, the numbers on this.
We had,
here's what I found.
We had pet rocks. There were pet rocks and all types of things that were out there at a time that, it comes, it's hot, people, get it, they like it, and they spend money, and then it's gone. Okay. It's in and out of fashion. Trends are something that exists over longer periods of time. And mega trends, you can't even see the end of it. Okay. So the natural products industry, in my opinion, is a mega trend. It started off at a point, it's been growing over time, and there's no foreseeable future. There's no foreseeable future where people will not be purchasing products for health and wellness. Okay, so that's one. There's a bit of history on that. Two, and why is that? In health in general, people are concerned about health from pretty much the cradle to the grave. Actually, before the cradle, because there's some prenatal things that are going on. But from infancy, you'll see products out there for infants in health food stores and on the market. This is, okay, here are vitamins for your baby, and here are natural diapers and all types of things that are for the very young ones. And then all throughout life, through the young adult years and adolescence to adulthood. Okay. Now, a lot of the industry was really driven by baby boomers. Who are the baby boomers? Those people who were born between 1946 and 1964. Baby boomers have been probably the single most influential group in society that's driven so much of what we see today. There were not health clubs, health food stores. A lot of the things that you see were started by those people that were born during those years and are still being influenced by us, me included, as we mature, as we age. So you got infancy, you got the young adults and adolescence and concerned about health. You got adulthood and things that people going through adulthood. And as people age, and of course, aging and the whole thing about dementia and all that, there are products for people who are aging. There are products for people who have sport, for sports performance, but people who are aging as well. So this industry altogether that you see from very young to the elderly constitutes what is now a $276 billion industry that's projected to grow to 300 billion by 2024 and 400 billion by 2030. So the industry is also going to experience the largest amount of growth, more growth than in its first decade or so. In less than a decade, it's going to experience approximately $124 billion in growth. And that spells opportunity for many people. And what that indicates is there's interest, that people are purchasing, people have the need, the awareness, everything, all those factors that make for a successful industry are there. And that's impacting different market segments. That's impacting people cross-culturally, in all parts of pretty much all parts of the United States, and and I'm talking about primarily US figures here, all parts of the US, whatever state, whatever area you go into, the interest in the purchasing of natural products is prevalent. And of course, online. Okay. So what are some of the things that are going on, and what are some of the things that are trending in the natural products industry? What makes it unique, and what makes it a great opportunity for you and yours, and particularly for, I'm going to say, women, and what they define as BIPOC, and that's Black, Indigenous, people of color. And so one, the wellness products that relate to the immune system, especially in the light of COVID, are growing tremendously. People's interest in the immune system has grown tremendously, and the products in that category are expanding rapidly. So when you hear about vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, and those types of things, people are purchasing them, and they're purchasing them in greater quantities, greater amounts, and for longer periods of time. Okay. There are more products that are for in aging, okay, and the impact that aging has. And what do you have? You have from the health and beauty products, those things that address the wrinkles and the signs of aging, as well as the physical challenges of aging, heart concerns, circulation, joint mobility, pain, okay, the things that we see in an aging population. In sports, you have a lot of people, and when I say sports, I don't just mean baseball, basketball, and those types of things, but athletic and physical performance. You've got, when I was coming up, you pretty much were on a team if you played sports, but now people are being more active in the gym. There are more runs and races and all types of activities for people who may not have even played sports in their younger years, to participate in sports, to participate in triathlons and those type of things. We're challenging our bodies more. We're in the gym, we're cycling, we're running. Some of you know that I'm a runner and have been running for, over 15 years. And so those types of things and those types of activities lead to their own challenges, our own pains and things that we need to do, as well as people looking for enhanced performance. How do I run longer and faster, and how do I recover more quickly? So functional foods and functional supplements that help people who want better performance. And then that performance also translates to, I want to be active, And I want to work, and I still want to be active outside of that. I don't want to go to work and then just be worn out. I want to have more energy, more stamina, more endurance during the day in more parts of my life. I want to be able to enjoy my kids. I want to be able to enjoy my friends. I want to be able to go out and dance. I want to lead an active life for a longer period of time. Baby boomers want to do that. And guess what? Everybody else wants to do that. We want to be active. People don't want to go to the grave before their time. Okay. And we don't want to feel, and even though we know that we're maturing, some people go, even though we're maturing, we don't want to feel like it. We don't want to look like it. Okay. So people are going to do those things that are going to make them look and feel young, vibrant, sexy, active, strong. All those types of things are what people are looking for. And they want to find that in areas that that are natural. Okay. They want to do that as naturally as possible. And of course, you're going to have some people who are going to do Botox and injections and surgery and all those types of things. But when they can find a natural product, a natural solution, something that comes from nature, something that they can do with your diet, with your lifestyle, with, or some supplementation, people are choosing that. People are investing. And again, to the rate of what? $276 billion. So a portion of that is dealing with performance. And I'm going to tie that right into men and women during their productive years, what we call their productive years. So when they're productive, sexually active and productive, those things that will that enhance or support fertility for those who want to have it, and those who want to have good sexual performance. Yes, and that's for men and women. And so many of you probably know that Viagra, Cialis, those products that's multi-billions that are spent in that arena. Okay. But what can men do? What can people do that isn't a drug, that is natural? So there are nutrients, there are sciences, things that are looking at how we enhance circulation, how we enhance our blood flow and our heart health, and how we can influence and benefit our hormonal system and attain hormonal balance and have good, healthy sex lives for a longer period of time, okay? For longer years and for stamina in the bedroom too, okay? So these are some of the key areas that are trending that people are looking for. Now, in addition to that, people are also concerned, again, is it natural? Is it good for the environment? Where does it come from? Organics is and will continue to be a big area, but there's another area called organic regenerative agriculture. Okay. And so there are systems that go beyond organic, and that where we can produce food, and it's good for the soil. It's not just not putting or avoiding putting chemicals into the soil. It incorporates use of animals and biodiversity and a number of different factors that contribute to the environmental health and less carbon emissions. Is good for the planet, is good for the ozone layer, is good for, some will say it's good for avoiding the negative impacts that we've been having, the industry has been having on the environment above us and here on the ground as well. So organic regenerative farming, organic regenerative agriculture is the new big thing. You've been hearing about organic. This is organic product. That's organic product. Is it organic? And organic costs more, but you'll hear more about this concept, which is a bit different on organic regenerative agriculture. And I'll probably do a session on, on that, the principles of that, and what that means, and what we'll be looking for going forward as we go to organic and then beyond. Now, I also mentioned, shared that the opportunities for people in women and people in what we call the BIPOC communities, Black, Indigenous, people of color, okay, is coming to the forefront. Okay, we've already been hearing in industry, and anybody who's been working in HR, in many of these companies, you hear about what they talk about diversity and inclusion. The term that's being bandied about in the natural products industry more so is JEDI, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And what is JEDI? That's especially in light of George Floyd and all the things, all the social injustices and the abuse by the police officers, not all police officers, but many of them and such. Then they're looking at saying, okay, what can we do that goes beyond just a product, it goes to a mission? Again, how do we help to counterbalance some of the societal wrongs and challenges? And so there are more companies in the natural products industry and as an industry taking on donating, supporting, bringing light to what goes on with people. So it's not just what we eat, it's what's eating us. And it's how we're being treated as well. And it's doing well and doing good. Social entrepreneurship and doing good financially, not just the bottom line, but doing good in society as well as doing well. And I would encourage anybody in business, anybody considering being in business, to have that part of your vision or mission, because people buy not just a product that solves a problem. People buy you as a person. They buy the company. They want to know that the dollars that they're investing are doing more than just lining somebody's pockets, much less lining the wrong pockets. Because frankly, some of the companies that we've been supporting and financially are not working in our best interest. So it's like, what do you do if you find out that the company that you've been buying their product, this brand name product for so long, is supporting causes that you're morally not in alignment with? You say, wow, it's destructive of the earth, or they're violating child labor laws. They're abusing people. They don't pay them a fair wage. They're, the people who are working and producing this product are worse off, maybe worse off. Their health, their living conditions, and everything is worse, than it could be. Okay. So people making a living wage and helping people in other countries, and seeing that those people in the supply chain altogether are doing better as a result. So if we doing business or getting supplies from China, Africa, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, whatever, any place in the world, that's all in alignment. Okay. So, so with Black, Indigenous, and people of color, one, we want to be aware of that, because, what is it doing for us? What is it doing for our communities? And as in most industries, when you look, typically we look at sports, and entertainment, but anything, sports, entertainment, music, anything that we get involved in, STEM, okay, anything that we get involved in changes because of our influence. It changes because, one, we're a different demographic, and our culture, our needs, and all that are different, are similar to other people. It's like, we may say that universally people want to be healthy, but we have our own needs. We have our own perspective on that as well, in our needs and the way we can apply that. And in this natural product space that has been producing primarily products just for pretty much for everyone, since we have health disparities, we have the opportunity to look at the unique needs and applications of our community, of communities of color, of the underserved communities, and create products that address those problems. Okay? Because guess what? If we don't do it, who's going to do it? So we know, and when we know that high blood pressure, the diabetes, type 1 and type 2 is, and there's certain forms of cancer and autoimmune disease, these types of things are impacting us disproportionately, it behooves us to look to products and solutions, things that meet our unique needs, that are packaged for us, that are directed toward us, that don't just have a picture of a brown face on it, but are actually formulated, directed, intended on addressing our community. Why? One, because it just makes it, one, does it make sense to take care of family? People who are in your family and close to you in your community, okay? Your family, your friends, and your community. Because one, there's a great need. Two, it's close to home. Three, African Americans represent about what, $1.6 trillion to the economy. So we have the money. We have the money, we have the means. It's just a matter of where we're spending those dollars. And then when it comes to health and wellness, I see it more of an investment than a spend. When you spend money, you don't expect to get a return on it, right? You spend it. I bought some clothes, whatever. I don't expect to make any money on that. Investment is when you put money into something expecting a greater return. You're expecting a return on your money in terms of a percentage that it can grow, or when it comes to health, you're expecting a return on that. We're anticipating that if we don't get years added to our life, we'll get life added to our years. We're expecting to get some type of return. We're expecting to feel better, to look better, to perform better, those type of things, and so our body functions better. And that's important to a lot of people. So as we channel, so part of the answer to our plight, to our problem with health disparities, is going to be for us to collectively to invest more of our dollars, more of our disposable income into our health and wellness, so that we reverse these problems, so that we're more heart healthy and aware, so our weight is balanced, so that our energies and our performance and everything is in alignment. Because if the health of African Americans was the same as everyone else's, instead of significantly below, the US would save $170 billion a year. Okay. Health disparities cost everybody, cost our healthcare system, and cost us in pain and suffering. Okay. So again, we want to close that gap. And that's one of the reasons why, and some of you may be in healthcare, some of the people who listen, will have been in healthcare or be in healthcare. And so the health disparities, and even if you're not, when we address health disparities and getting people, African Americans, at least, and that's a long climb there, $170 billion gap. That means we're getting a lot more disease. We're getting sicker sooner and dying more often than other people. And that's everybody's problem. That's a governmental problem. That's an individual problem. And again, it cause pain, suffering, and those type of things. So for those reasons and more, it behooves us to find more solutions, more natural solutions to the health problems, the health disparities we're getting. And guess what? And that also impacts our wealth. How so? Because the number one reason for bankruptcies comes from health failure. It doesn't come because people lose their job and they lose their house. It's because someone gets sick and they end up losing all their assets. They end up going bankrupt, going broke, trying to regain their health. Okay, so for all these reasons and more, natural products, natural solutions to the challenges that we have is probably the best investment that you can make, because it's going to is impacting every one of us. We don't have to look far to see health challenges in our family. If you don't have it individually, guess what? Over time, okay, history would indicate that over time, your health tends to decline until that point of death, okay? Or someone in your family, again, diabetes, heart disease, cancers. I speak to so many of my friends, so many of my colleagues, so many people that I used to work with. And somebody's got cancer. I'm hearing all the time. I'm hearing prostate cancer in men. I'm hearing reproductive cancers in women. And again, it's starting younger. So we can address many of the societal ills, many of the health ills by focusing on solutions. Now, just imagine what will happen when we got thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who are moving more in this direction. What we're naturally going to do is have fewer drugs that people are going to be using, which is better for everybody, including the environment. Because when you use a drug, even if it gets rid of the headache, guess what? That goes into you, into the water, into the environment, and harms the environment. And many times it doesn't address the root cause of that. If you take a natural product, conversely, you take an herb, you take a vitamin, you take a mineral, you meditate, you relax, you exercise, and that addresses that pain, then you're not doing harm to you, to the environment, and and you can show that and demonstrate that with other people as well. You can duplicate that success. We have to think about this more universally as well. Okay, so in the time that we have, so kind of by way of recap, look for here when you see all these opportunities, when you see people say, "Oh, here's a great hustle, and you can do this in this real estate, whatever." Look at that opportunity. Is it solving problems, or is it solving one problem and causing another problem? Okay, is it solving problems for people in ways that are good for the planet, that are principled? Okay, all kinds of ways to make money and profitable. Is it something that is going to last for other generations that you could pass along? Can we be philanthropic with it as well? Is it also going to impact other people as well? Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said something, I quote him in saying, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Okay. And I'm going to, in a quote by someone he admired, Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." We can be the change. The more of us that participate in finding solutions that help people, that help the planet, that are principled, profitable, and can be passed along, the more that we're going to advance as a society. Okay. And so in subsequent calls and talks, I'm going to share how online training, I'm going to share how artificial intelligence also with technology will help us to fulfill these mission, this mission and make impact, not just now, but for generations to come. Okay. So I know that there are people who will have questions. You have questions about and I'm going to make some announcements as well. I'm going to pause this or stop the recording here.